how do you, or how would you handle a conversation? What's a great way to phrase that to get the desired result, which is you keep the listing, but you actually get the sale away?
I think, in all honesty, if somebody is set on a certain number that's no longer achievable, there's only so much you can do with that. And in reality, the best step then is to move away from that instruction and allow the client to become free from you and say, look, on that basis, I can't assist. Because I think trying to persuade somebody that's absolutely stuck on a number for whatever reason, I mean, I would look at the emotional reason for the reason and try and establish whether it can be changed. I'd look at the technical reason and find out whether my MAB partner can come and help me assess for that person whether that number is real or is it just a mental block. But in reality, I wouldn't spend too much time with it. What I would do is use my mortgage broker. And you asked me, what would you want from your mortgage broker? You asked the panel, and I would want capacity. Because I think the biggest issue we're going to face over the next whatever period is going to be capacity. Because you've got all those remortgages needing to be happened. You've got a load of people coming onto the market that are going to need mortgages to buy and sell. I think the capacity to give them the right advice is going to be very tricky. But I would be wanting to connect my entire network, whether they're thinking of moving or not, with a broker to assess what their future mortgage situation should look like. And I'd want my broker to, frankly, monetize the opportunity in terms of remortgage, etc., but spit back to me the people that can't. Ben said, can or can't. So deal with the ones that can, look after them, give them a great service. I get the credit for introducing them. That's my relationship sorted for the next 20 years. The ones that can't, give them back to me and I'll move them. And I would be working very, very tightly with my broker. But I also wanted to make the point that I think the tracker situation is massively overlooked. I think everybody's looking for a fixed rate deal. Why? The market's changed. Now might be the time to be sat with a tracker right now. It might be nerve wracking, and it might be the one, it might be the brave position. But actually, I will take a bet now, and I'm having to go on record in 2 or 3 years' time. Those that sit on a tracker right now will probably make the best financial decision over the next year or so. And then as the markets ease off and the swap rates and everything else does what it does and the fixed rates reduce, they're not going to go back to where they were. Forget about that, it's not going to happen. But wherever they do go back to, I think we've peaked and we're going to see them come back down. Unfortunately, I fixed mine for 5 years, but unfortunately or fortunately, whichever way you look at it. But I would be working with my broker, but for the people that don't reduce their prices and won't, I'm going to be honest with you, I would be pretty thrifty with my time to move them away from me, and I'd be wanting to work with people who really want to buy and people who really want to sell. Those
really want to engage.
Can I jump in there, Lou? Sorry to cut you off here, but with your friend Louise and picking up on what Ian's just said, Deborah Richards of Madison's Residential in Tunbridge Wells, fantastic agent. One of her great lines, and she said to me just this month, she said, "Pete, I'm so pleased I can bring that back out again." When she goes on a marketing appraisal and she's asked about fees, people say her average fee is 1.75%.
Wow.
And and often she'll get "Oh, that's expensive." She said, "Well, when you instruct somebody else and if you're unsuccessful and you come back to me, my fee is 2.1%." Because it's a lot harder to sell a property once it's already been in the market with somebody else.
Yeah.
And she said, and she is just champing at the bit to be able to she hasn't been able to use that line really for the last year, 18 months, but she's champing at the bit to get it back out there again. So Ian's absolutely right. Agents have got to have the confidence of their advice and be prepared to walk away if somebody is delusional about their circumstance, because they're wasting their time and they're damaging their brand at the same time. So your friend needs to wake up and smell the coffee.